Hello, it's Crafty Carol here again from Northern Ireland with another little project for you. And this time I'm making this little box, which has got a snowflake topper on it because I wanted to use that. And the box contains 6 tea lights. So if I just show you how that works, it opens like that, the tea lights are inside, and Gus is huffing away. So I'm not going to try and tie that again now because it'll take the rest of the video, so I'll tie that again later. Okay, I'm using the Sparkling Snowflakes stamp set and the Snowflake tag punch. These come as a bundle. They're still available as a bundle until the end of this month, and well, the very beginning of January actually. And I bought it as a bundle and loved the stamp set and really wasn't sure what to do with the snowflake tag because it's not easy to make it a tag, although you can tie a little bit of twine around the centre and make it a tag. But I was and then I saw some of the clever demonstrators making these things, so I got the idea for this box from Heidi at Heidi Smith. She is Flutter by Heidi, that's right. So thank you, Heidi, for this idea. So let me show you how to make it. It's another project that just uses a 6x6 piece of DSP. You also need a small piece of a coloured card. On this one, I actually use Lost Lagoon to match the DSP. I don't know, I think perhaps a contrasting colour might be better. This time I'm going to go actually with white, basic white. I don't then need this as a separate tag if I do something different with the ribbon, which I'm going to show you. But if you wanted, you can just stick the ribbon around the outside and then use the extra piece on top. So this piece is 4 centimetres by 11. And the small bit you need for the top of the tag is 3.5 by 4. So it's just a tiny little bit. So we'll see where we go with that. I might or might not do it. Right, so let us get on with doing this. You'll see that I've been really cheeky and I'd already cut a bit out of the other piece of this, but it was still big enough, so I've used it. So 6x6 piece, and then you want to cut one side down to 14.6. So this side has been cut down to 14.6. Got that bit, that's my tab to close, so it won't actually matter. Yours should be obviously a straight edge there. And you want to score when you've cut this down, so it's just the one side you cut down, the other side remains at 6. And you're going to score this at 2.8. So 2.8, I've actually already scored this, but I'll show you just to go through it. 2.8, 6.8, oh, Gus is coughing, no idea why. 9.6 and 13.6. Then you're going to turn it, and on the 6-inch side, you're going to score it again at 2.8 and at 14.3. Just make sure I got that properly lined up. There. So you end up, I'll try and show you on the back, you might see the score lines a bit better. It's not a very bright day today. So you've got a little thin piece along the top and a bigger piece along there, and then the box bits with the bit to actually close it. So we're going to, I'll show you now how to cut this down. So we are going to firstly cut out this little corner because we don't need it. Then I am going to do the folds first before I do any cutting, because it does make it easier to make sure everything's lined up properly. So I'm just going to fold these over. That one wasn't actually scored terribly well, but it'll do. And I just try and make sure every time I fold it over that I am lining it up. Check top and bottom that it is lined up to make sure you have got your score lines straight, because this is a box and if any of them are slightly off, it won't make a very square box. And then finally, we'll just fold down the little tiny bit and then the bigger bit here. So the bigger bit here is the bottom of the box. This is the top of the box, the opening bit of the box. So we've cut out that corner. We're now going to cut out, and I'll do it this way so you can see it more easily. We're going to cut out little notches on each of these, just little tiny ones, so that we have 4 little flaps at the top. And then at the bottom, on each side of the wider tabs, we're going to cut straight. And then we're going to just notch very slightly the smaller ones. That's the first one. So this is the side of the big one. So it's straight, then little tiny notch, straight on that side, little tiny notch on the tab bit. And finally, we can cut this bit out too. So we can cut up there and just take that bit out. So you should have something that looks like that. And I've done it this way to show you that I think it's easier to see with the white upwards. Obviously, that is going to be the outside of my box. So we're going to start off. The first thing to do is these 3 tabs here, stick them down, not this end one. So these middle, if you like, middle ones, not the 2 end panels, but the 3 middle ones we're just going to stick down. So I'll actually use, if I can find it, my tear and tape. I think because it'll mean I won't have to sit and hold things. Although it does take longer to actually put it on anyway in the first place. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape along all of these tabs, because I will be using the final tab, but not just yet. So I might as well stick that on now. So it's these 3 in the middle that we're going to stick down first. So we're simply going to remove the tear and tape, stick it down. So I'll do that for all 3. There we go. And the final one, stick it down. Then going to actually make the box. So I need to go back to my pattern side, because I'm now going to put some tear and tape along the big flap here. As I say, on yours, you won't have that bit cut out in the middle. My tear and tape just fits in behind that cut out bit, so it's fine. Take that off. And then I like to always put it together by folding it, so I know we're straight with the lines. Then I can fold over the other side, and I know that that is a proper square box. So now I can finish the top by taking off this final piece. And the reason we've left it till now is, as you can see, we've got, if you can see in here, oh, I don't know if you can see in here, but hopefully with the camera, we've got the tab across that I've just stuck down. So now I can cover it at this end by just folding that piece down. So that's the top of the box. Now we're going to do the bottom. So, you know, sometimes when you put the box together, well, there we go. There's the seam at the back. So I'm going to fold this back flap in first, then the side ones, and then this front one here. So I'm going to put some tape on each of the non-front ones. I'm using tape rather than Tombow because this is a shiny specialty DSP. If you are using an ordinary DSP, you probably don't need to use tape. You can just use Tombow, and that would stick it down perfectly well. You can see I've cut that a little bit big there. It doesn't matter. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it in a minute. Some people can put it on then tear it. I find that difficult, so I tend to tear the bits I want and then stick them on. Right, so we're going to start. I'm going to take all the bits off, actually. Take all the backings off. Now this bit where I've made the tear and tape just a little bit too long, all I need to do is just get that end and fold it over. There. And the final flap. Right. So, as I say, we're going to make the box by folding the back one in first, then the 2 side ones, and then the bottom one. And you want to make sure they're nice and square like that, so it really fits and holds the box together. So that is the basic box. And actually it would look fine, and if you wanted to just use it like that for, I don't know, something that would fit in there, and just put some paper in at the top, just scrumpled up tissue paper, that would make a nice gift as it is with a little tag on it. But I want to make the top bit as well. Okay, so to form the top, we have our piece, which is 4 centimetres by 11 centimetres, and on the long side you're going to score it at 1 centimetre. So when I do that, I always use the right hand side. It's much easier to make sure that your piece stays straight. And then we're going to turn it round and score it at 3.8 centimetres, which is just there. So you have the 2 folds here and here. This long top bit is what we're going to punch. So you'll see that it isn't quite as wide as the punch itself, so you need to just eyeball and push it right in as far as it'll go, and then make sure that the gaps either side are even, and then punch. So there we have, let's get rid of the bits. There we have our snowflake topper. So we're just going to fold that and burnish it. And again, I want to make sure that these edges are completely straight. And on this little edge here, I'm just going to take off these 2 corners so that it'll fit neatly into the back of the box when we stick it on. And then finally, we're going to use the little sentiment strip to put on top. I've decided I will use that because it'll cover the ribbon. So I'm just going to get a scrap of, I've already used this a lot, and I'm using the Snowflake and the For You and some Lost Lagoon ink. And I'm just going to stamp this with the Snowflake, but I'm stamping off, which means that I'm taking one lot of ink off and then stamping on my piece, and it gives me a much fainter thing, which is what I want. Because I just want little bits of snowflake to show around the edge of this piece, oops, without it being too dark. And then I can use let's get rid of that out of the way. Then I can use For You to stick across the middle. There, may not be quite as straight as it should be, but hey, just going to get my pad just to clean these up. I don't like to leave stamps with ink on. It does tend to not do them any good, so do clean your stamps as soon as you can after using them. So now it just remains for us to make the box up. So this is our top. I'm going to stick it on first just by using a little bit of tear and tape across the bottom of the tag there. So this goes on the outside here because it's going to slide just inside the box. So take the end off, and then that's the back of our box. So we want to stick it to the back. Going to just place it there. Now, when you're sticking this in, just make sure that the crease is exactly level with the back of the box, because we want this to fold over neatly. And mine isn't quite, so hopefully I can just take that off before it's fully stuck down. Make sure it's level. It's that corner that isn't. There we go. And then that will fold over and cover the box like this. So the next stage is to stick our ribbon round, and you want a piece of ribbon that's roughly 3 and a bit times the length of the box. And the ribbon is going to go just across here. So I'm going to stick this on top, and I want to allow the ribbon to move because it makes it easier to tie the bow. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tear and tape on the top and bottom of this piece. Or you could just put a little bit of Tombow top and bottom, because I want to allow a channel down the middle for the ribbon to move through. Okay, so now I'll leave my ribbon across the middle, and then I can stick this down just there. There we go. Just get rid of my bits. I seem to have bits all over the desk. Ooh, There we go. So there is the box. Now the box fits 6 tea lights, so I'll just put those in. Then we can bring the ribbon around. And this will be the challenge, tying a bow on camera. Let's see how we go. I've made sure I've got plenty of ribbon because I do want to make sure I've got enough to tie this bow properly. That is such a messy bow, but let's see if we can just improve it a bit. If you hold the middle of the bow and pull on the ends, you can then adjust those a little bit. That's better. So then I can trim off some of the excess, not too much, because if I undo it, I need to be able to tie it again. But I'll take off a little bit of the excess. And there, if I can get it to twist the right way, is my bow. Yeah, not too bad, that one. So that is with the coloured snowflake tag. That's with the white one. I think I probably prefer the white. Might have looked best against this paper because it's got white snowflakes on it, but let you choose which one you think might be the nicest. So that is my little tea light box using the snowflake tag topper. I hope you enjoyed it. There is more information in my blog, so that's at craftycarolscards.co.uk, where all the measurements will be there. And I hope to see you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe at the button below, and thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.